Firstly, let us clarify one thing, that we are brothers.
You guys don't look like brothers.
And before we were Shantnu Nikhil, we were two brothers fighting for our right to exist.
One day he just invited me to have a look at his final jewelry collection. Till then I was just underestimating him as a younger brother. The second part of the decade, which is 2010 onwards, we started to narrate a lot of emotional stories on the runway. The first day we dressed up Mr. Bachchan and KBC2, sort of breaking the ice with the fashion fraternity.
Do you have control over the growth of your hair? Plus, I don't remember shit. Every morning I'm looking for my Kalpana.
Hi everyone and welcome back to That's So Mudita. Today I have with me two of India's most celebrated designers and the powerhouse duo behind Shantnu and Nikhil. Okay, so before Shantnu and Nikhil was a brand, who were Shantnu and Nikhil like actually?
Oh, we were. Firstly, let us clarify one thing, that we are brothers. A lot of people don't know that, even after 26 years. Yeah, exactly. And before we were Shantnu Nikhil, we were two brothers fighting for our right to exist. Shantnu was always a studious guy in school and I was a rebel. And we didn't necessarily think alike, and our lives are very different. Obviously, there were lots of fights when we were young, and he used to always end up taking the car to the club and leave me behind, knowing that I had to go to the club to play tennis as well. And small things we used to fight about.
Opposites attract, right?
Yeah, correct.
And that's what happened post all of that trauma.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they say, sibling rivalry. Luckily, our parents weren't the cause for the sibling rivalry because they were very democratic. They held him and they handled him very differently from me. So hence the bond was there, but two different people with two different agendas in life. So that were the Shantnu and Nikhil at that point.
Okay, so but how is that like building a business with two opposite personalities?
You know, we realized that we were building the business from 15 years of age. And I'll tell you how. At night, you know, we were in DPS Mathura Road. Our uniforms were white in color. And at night, Shantnu used to quietly sneak and put the cleaner whites next to his bedside and leave the dirty ones for me to wear. And in the morning, he'd be ready, up and gone, and I'd be always the guy last minute reaching the bus. And I'd have to figure out how to make my dirty whites look good. So the styling idea and all of that started at a very early age, only to realize later that we'll be working together to continue doing what we did.
This is his best narrative, and whenever he talks about dirty uniforms being the inspiration behind who he is, that will be a part and parcel of any conversation. But see, in that respect, I didn't have anything to do with how to manage this chaos. I was still the same person. He found his mojo that, maybe I'm not cut out to do regular studies and this is where I am, maybe working as a stylist, or I have this knack to make things look beautiful in my own eyes, but I still didn't know whether I will get into the world of fashion. But it's just so happened that both of us left for the United States of America together. I was doing my MBA in finance from Ohio State University. Nikhil was doing his master's in fashion. Very wide apart, very, very far away from each other in Los Angeles and Ohio. So we kept talking to each other on the phone. We created a connect which we probably in our younger days could not, because I think the loneliness,
all the time.
The loneliness also probably got to us while we were striving to achieve why we had gone there for, what we had gone there for. But we just found this whole new bond where we kind of supported each other. And I think that's when I understood him better, he understood me better. And it just so happened that one day he just invited me to have a look at his final jewelry collection, which was his passing out collection. And that's when I fell in awe of what he's capable of. Till then, I was just underestimating him as a younger brother. And what are you even capable of? Because he did not go through the regular channels of education. He defied all the stereotypical notions that at that point in time became almost every time a talking point of what is your son doing? Has he got an undergrad degree? And they always used to unfortunately compare him to me because I did my economics, then did my MBA. But I think he shut everyone up. And I think he most importantly shut me up when I saw his collection. And that's when the trigger happened, the spark flew, and I said that this needs to be represented in India. And how do we make that happen?
Okay. So everyone knows that Shantnu and Nikhil is all about the drape and the structure now. But in the initial days, what was the very first rejection or fail that continued to make and define the Shantnu and Nikhil USP?
When we came back from the States and we set up our atelier, a small one, our first show was with Lakme that time, in 2000. We only got accepted because Raghu's mum felt sick and that slot came open and we got a chance to present. But one thing was, even back then, was that we were far ahead of our times to do contemporary Indian clothing. We did a leather sherwani back then. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
In 2000, and the music was completely different than the usual that you'd see back then. And we did also have lots of drapes, even to start with. So that was always a part of our DNA. But it never took off because the market wasn't ready. And we realized that we are not going to change as people and as a brand, and we're going to continue doing what we do best. Only in 2008, I think it really started to come together. But for the first 8 years, it was a massive struggle for us.
So the USP has already always
So we continue. So I think the common thread, the common binding factor between 2000 when we showed our first collection at the Lakme Fashion Week to 2009 was that we continued to disrupt. We continued to evolve, and at the same time let the market evolve and understand where we are coming from. So we were always editing heritage, not sort of giving it the abundance that everyone else was doing. And that required us to play with our collections every season, every year at the Lakme India Fashion Week with some newness. And I think the newness and the reinvention of it all kind of gave somebody in that audience that, you know, they come up with something new all the time. But we knew that drape and creating this whole overlapping masculinity and femininity is something that we will stick to, where everything else around it can change. So that's how the journey went along. And like Nikhil said, by 2010, there was acceptance. Journalism found its acceptance. Somebody started to say that, yeah, these things are possible. And there seems like there's an audience. So those 10 years was just basically struggle, but continuing to stay true to who we were.
So androgyny basically was accepted after 2010.
Right. In 2012, in the beginning of that year, I remember I had to go to an Indian affair, and I didn't want to wear a basic kurta, so I draped a kurta out of a stretch fabric which had a sort of a hang to it.
Like a cowl effect.
Yeah. And I wore it and I had a lot of people laughing at me, especially my friends.
That's like the statement drape of Shantnu Nikhil.
Yes, eventually this is what happened. It became a statement, but I remember what we went through. I wore it, my friends laughed, which is typical of my friends. I still love them. Then one actor in Hyderabad wore it. It was Vishnu Manchu. And he wanted to experiment and get his personality out. He wore it. All of a sudden, Calcutta we started getting orders from, and 3 years later, the entire country was copying it. So we realized that we touched upon that journey of androgyny from the very onset of our brand. And finally, it found its roots in the country. And also the country changed over the past 12 years. Men started becoming more accepting towards their other side, which was then called, there was a word, metrosexual, that became very popular. And I think the word started to happen because of the clothes people started to wear.
So if we sum up our first 2 decades, the first decade where we say that there was a lot of struggle, to the extent that people weren't finding resonance with what we were doing. Everything was evolving so fast, so quickly, and there was this whole stereotypical notion of seeing traditionalism. So the first leg of the journey was to unshackle traditionalism by reinventing. The second part of the decade, which is 2010 onwards, we found soft masculinity to be a very important ingredient of who we were as a brand intrinsically, because deep down we started to narrate a lot of emotional stories on the runway, which kind of also tried to defy the patriarchal society that we were coming from. And hence, like Nikhil said, the first drape sort of was launched in 2012, and then it continued to become even a stronger DNA from a menswear perspective. And then the third leg, which is the later half of the second decade, we just found military chic to become a very important ingredient, where we found women to become more fierce. We really our structure and our corsetting started to come into action. So this is what really summed up the first 20 years, with reinvention, getting soft masculinity into people's wardrobes, and making our women more fierce through some military chic nuances.
Makes sense. So we both know you're brothers and partners. For somebody just starting out, how important is it to find a counter voice? Somebody who's just not challenging, who's just not agreeing with you, but just challenging your aesthetic as well. Do you think a partner is necessary in a business like that?
I think one of the stronger moments of launching a brand together was the fact that we both belonged to different schools of thoughts, where there was a bit of security cover, because I came from a management perspective and from a business perspective. So I had a logic that if we were to launch a brand, this is how we will launch it. My first priority was to make sure that we have some communication methodology in a which didn't exist. So how do we go there with some aggression? So we were lucky that we also did get some opportunities while in the very first 3 or 4 years of launching the brand, that we dressed up Mr. Bachchan and KBC2. That was a big moment for us. We also we somehow also got an opportunity to dress up Indian cricketers and show them on the ramp for the very first time. And the new era of Indian cricket was just being originating. So these were some of the things that definitely was a must-have to launch a brand which was as disruptive as there ever was. And then, of course, giving him the operational support, making sure that in the chaos of running a fashion brand, creativity is not compromised. So, and likewise, I knew that he has the creative instincts and he has a voice which needs to be backed without him being a part of the vicious circle that sort of you go into when you're building a brand and building a business. So counter voice is important. Two people with the same objective, but working towards the same goal, but in different directions, are finally meeting here. I think that's the most critical thing. Hence, two creative people can have a discord because you see it from an ego perspective, and hence that has never happened. Creative instinct is the first thing that hits the brand, and then after that everything else follows. That's my understanding.
So do you think there should be a separation between management and designing part of it?
Yes. Again, like one human being cannot do everything. It's not possible.
Yes.
Cricket teams have 11 players. Doubles partners in tennis courts are partners. People get married because they find completion in partnership. I think this is another form of that. I enjoy business, but if I had to choose between design and business, I'd go for design. Same with Shantnu. But we have strong aesthetics in both areas. Shantnu is very astute when it comes to understanding product. And more importantly, he has an empathy towards understanding the value of creativity. And I think that's key. So if you do have a partner, which you must, I think the most important thing you should be looking for is the empathy of design in that partnership. Having a partner is of no value if the person doesn't have empathy. It brings a lot of value from the creative side as well. if he's empathetic, the creative person can do a lot of work.
Correct.
And like any other relationship, communication, conversations of what is happening on the creative side and how is the operational and the management and the business side supporting that, and like vice versa. That's an ongoing journey that started from 2000. It still continues to be one.
Yeah. And if your brother is going to be your business partner or your sister is going to be your business partner, I think it's important to understand that we're still two professionals. Seek an appointment for conversation. Don't just think it's your authority to come up and speak anytime. We do that. In fact, if I wanted to have a chat with Shantnu or send him a message saying, would you be able to meet me at 10:30 so we can have a conversation around this topic? And he's there. But if I walk into his office and say, it's not considered professional enough. So, yeah.
So when you were just starting out, when you were entering the fashion industry, what did people not tell you about working in this industry?
We didn't know anyone from this industry to begin with, so no one did tell us anything. The only thing our friends used to say, you're so lucky you get to work with models. That's the only thing we heard. And all our friends would be like, bro, take me backstage one day. It's my dream to see all the models together. But what we learned really was the skill to run a design business. We also got a chance to learn a lot from the people we saw in our industry. What to say, when to say, how much to speak, how does it affect you negatively or positively? How do you push yourself enough with it where you're not sounding and looking desperate, and how to keep your ego aside.
I think what we almost definitely didn't know was that there will be so many barriers that will be created for a creative process of building a brand. Why should anyone not let you be who you are? And I feel that was something that we weren't prepared for. We were prepared that it's going to be a challenging task, because in the world of traditionalism, how does a brand sit which is actually defying certain stereotypical notions? So it's controversial in that sense, but we knew that there will be challenges. But everything else, right from getting a slot in the fashion weeks, to even being rejected at fashion weeks, to buyers not coming to you, to you not being a part of a community which is so close-knit, in the fashion fraternity, not accepting. I think these were some of the things that really were happening which we didn't know. So that made our life a lot more challenging, but at the same time more affirmative, because like we said, we weren't in it for a very easy task. We knew that we have to fight all the contradictions and just stay put, because no matter what journalists were saying, they were criticizing us the first 3-4 years. How can this happen? What is this? That didn't deter us from not doing what we were doing, right? So hence we weren't prepared for that acceptance at all level. It was only in 2006 or 2007 when we showcased a line called Camel Safari at the India Fashion Week platform, and when the great Rohit Bal saw the collection for the first time sitting front row, and then how excited he got when Nikhil and I took a bow that he almost gave us a standing ovation, and he wanted to hug us on the runway till he decided, no, I'll go to their stall and I will congratulate them on my own. And I think that's when the news and the media went into this frenzy that Rohit Bal was there at Shantnu Nikhil show, and he gave so much love and acceptance, and that became headline news. And I think that's when slowly but surely breaking the barrier, or sort of breaking the ice with the fashion fraternity started to happen.
Do you think media played a huge role in success today?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I must say that their inclusion in our belief system was quite incredible. I remember there was an editor, Vinod Nair, with Hindustan Times. Such an amazing guy, always believed in us. Sabina Saiki, the late Sabina Saiki with Times of India. She was always, we used to be going to her office so often saying, what else are you doing? What's new? Show me. And then we had a lot of interesting journalists would reach out to us, which is different now. I mean, now the platforms are so different.
Definitely.
They get to know exactly what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're breathing. It's so available. But back then, there were amazing relationships we built.
Very personal, very confidential, very few but very effective.
And they helped us to build the brand as well, because they said, the collection looks great. There's an opportunity in Paris. There's an opportunity here. I think you should focus on it. A lot of back and forth.
I must tell you, at that time, the print media, which was, say, your Hindustan Times, Times of India, they were very democratic. So if you had a super collection, it'll be on the headlines of the national newspaper.
That is true.
Till things started to obviously change in the print media world. But we were all vying, one good collection, maybe we'll be on the headlines of the newspaper.
Yeah.
That by itself was was platinum.
13th page of the main newspaper, Times of India, would be is when you've made it. And I must applaud Vinny Jain. In his own way, he believed in the industry. And therefore, if you look at Femina Miss India, it still continues.
Correct.
This was another part of that industry where we applauded beauty, and design was an important part of beauty as well.
Yeah.
So we all know that Mrs. Mehra played a significant role in the journey of this brand. Could you share how she supported the brand in its early years and what made her such an integral part of the story?
To begin with, Mrs. Mehra was someone we were really scared of. Still continue to be. She brought us up. Our father was the house husband, and our mum was the one who was working. Before we came back, she had created a small business of manufacturing, and we saw her work arduously for 4 years, no Sundays off. She put us through college. Dad supported her endeavor. We came back, and the first thing we said is that we got to give you a life which is easier than what you've gone through. But she was an iron lady. She continued working till her last day, and she gave us the vision of reaching out to our goals. She put all her goals far away from what she wanted to set out to do, only so that she could see us grow together. So she built the plinth of our existence, and we miss her every day at work. She used to run the entire production facility to make sure all the stores are healthy. And our father was considered to be the happy campaigner of the business, where people would come and hang out with him and talk to him. He'd be the happy guy in the business. And mum would be so inspirational for people that they'll reach out to her for almost anything. They knew that she could solve any problem.
Yeah, she was a problem solver and amazingly efficient in the operational side of the business. So she handled the entire production on her own, with a very small team to begin with. Just when she was getting excited that now you will see scale, you have a very specialized team, you have certain technology systems in place, that's when I think she couldn't see that. And I know that she would have basked in the glory of who she was being surrounded by, because that would have made her decision making even more decisive, faster. She must be missing all of that.
I'm sure she must be proud. So what are the meaningful lessons or values that you learned from your parents that you would want to be continued?
Values are not created from later part of your life. All of them come from a very early stage, and those are called childhood values. So we've continued that even in our own families with our children. I think that over the years we realized that everything that we do together. Children come first, and also yet at the same time keep them independent for them to then lead their lives. But the value system we have, I think, is pretty strong. We respect each other. Shantnu and I are probably the only duo that still continues to work in harmony. When we tell people that we're two brothers running a business, they're shocked. I mean, that's the state of the society of the world. That we're happy to have a life with best friends, but we can't work with our own siblings, which it just drives me insane. So clearly the value system is somewhere flawed, where you can't trust your own brother or sister to work with, but you're happy to depend on a friend. And we don't have that value system. Our value system comes from, we go together wherever with a common goal, and if we have disagreements, we will communicate.
So I think the foundation of being democratic parents at that time of the era where you gave us the freedom to do whatever we wanted to, and we were more friends than we were sons and parents. I think that's the biggest support and we got from them, because that's what brought in so much trust, and I think that's the giveaway, and that's a trickle-down effect now we have with our kids. Our kids are our friends. They may fail, but we help them. They seek our support, that I failed, what do I do? I think that's exactly what happened with us as well. That's happened with Nikhil. So the parents were there to accept our failures and not be troubled by it. So they had very closed ears. They said, we are a family, we know we are a little different from the rest. So hear the noises, ignore the noises, do whatever you feel is right. I think that's a very important inflection point in our lives, is that we do things which are non-restrictive, and at the same time we build in trust and faith with our siblings, our parents, with our kids. They can trust us blindly, and we can trust them blindly.
Yes. I think that's like a big push for your parents to be supportive. That's a big push to start a business.
Yeah, I remember when I told my parents I wanted to be a fashion designer. It was 1996, 94. Sorry, you were not born then. Parents were like, go for it. Not even once did they think that it's not a profession that you want to do. So when you get that support at home, you realize that the world is a battlefield outside of your home. So don't make your home a battlefield for yourself.
Yes.
And we've said the same to our children, that the world outside is going to be tough. How can we make it happen here before you step out, so you can cut through the crap?
That's great. Okay, so can you walk us through your very first experience in a professional fashion setting? What did you feel? What did you mess up? What surprised you?
I think the first show that we did at the Lakme India Fashion Week, we must have made many mistakes. The sheer excitement of presenting a new brand on the runway and trying to do things that can call for some attention. I think that by itself was the biggest moment.
Definitely.
Because here was a fashion platform that represented Indian designers. And in the second year of its existence, we got an opportunity to showcase, meant that now we are part of this fraternity.
Yes.
That we are also, there's an acceptance there. And I think the first collection that we put out there had its moments, may not have had some moments. And that continued to happen for the next 2 or 3 years, because the sheer excitement of being a part of a fraternity that was comprising greats like Rohit Bal, Tarun Teryani, Abu Jani Sandeep Khosla, Rohit Khosla, his name as a legend was being resonated almost every time, even though he may not have been there in existence. But those were the names that we were surrounded by, and those were the people that I think we looked up to when we were just kids. So that by itself just got us very excited. And with excitement, you make mistakes.
Okay, so this one is for you, Shantnu. How did you actually learn the technical side of design? Was it him, mentors, trial and error?
I still don't know the technical side of it, but I have a good eye. I'm in a position right now to see a good croquis or a good sketch, a rendered sketch from a bad one. I always thought that to understand good design, you need to have taste. You need to be well traveled. You need to understand what is surrounding you, and you yourself have to not make money to look good, but to look good, you got to make money. It's a reverse way. You want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to enjoy the world. So get that vibe first, then make money, as opposed to I'm going to make money to look good, to feel good. So I knew that we're getting into this business and we're getting into this beautiful fashion universe. I better start getting all the vibes that can help us make money. So
Yes.
sophistication, taste, all of that mattered for me to equip myself to understand the market better and bring that know-how to see how can we see what is happening in the market and how does our product and our brand fit there.
You could take this back to the time when you were taking the cleaner uniforms and putting next to your bedside.
Yeah. So I always knew that I need to look good.
Same question for you. How did you learn the management part?
A great deal of management came from my mum. She had the knack of somehow keeping a balance between what's going out and what's coming in. And her bag used to always have money. It was insane. Somehow there was barakat in her wallet. And every time I asked for money, and there would be money coming out of it. And yet we were struggling. So there was clearly her choices on what's important and what's not. The amount of emotion and the lack of emotion was also critical. I learned a lot of that. And she always somehow kept some money away for a hard time. See, we were not born into money. For us, most of our childhood was on a two-wheeler, Vijay Chetak. Vijay Chetak, yeah, which our dad used to ride. His salary was 5,000 rupees a month, and we used to do holidays. We used to go for a buffet once a year. We would not eat the whole day. So we've been through a beautiful family journey of having no wealth. But somehow we learned I learned from my mom the real management of money. That's all I know. That at any given point in time, I should have money somewhere sitting. We have insecurity on that, a deep insecurity, because you're never born with money.
True.
And that's the only management I know.
Okay. So what does the actual creative process look like between the two of you? Who pushes, who pulls back, who fights harder?
We have discussions every day. When I create a collection, I can go really overboard. My team can get really emotional. Shantnu really comes in and says, love this, keep it tight, focus on this market, we'll try to move it. And then don't get stuck, move on. So it's almost like an actor being in character for a film. Some great actors have died because they could not get out of character. And so this Shantnu helps me navigate through different collections and inspirations. But inspirations come naturally, they come from experiences. A lot of it has got to do with having to find a muse within so that I can create for others. And I realize that everything in this world we're doing is a mirror of who we are. And we will always, and a lot of assistants ask me, do you think this customer will wear this? So I'm like, do you know the customer? The customer will exist when you exist. Question is, how do you exist? If you're able to create beautifully for yourself, you will find someone exactly like you to buy it at any cost. So focus on that.
So creative process, according to me, is also it's a journey. It's like Nikhil said very rightly, that you can get into the character and not get out of it. And that's, like I told you, the first leg of the first decade was all about being the character of the brand, reinvent. And then somehow that became almost like a second skin to us, that everything that we were doing was about reinvention. Even if we had to reinvent a gown or a lehenga, it had to be reinvented a certain way, because our life and our job was very tough and very challenging, because there was no other Indian designer in early 2000s who did contemporary the way we thought. There were many that have come up now in the last 10, 12 years, but I feel that we laid the foundation. We disrupted it so badly that fire had to be ignited. Some designers had to come up and say, okay, you and I belong to that contemporary mindset. So the creative process then was all about disruption. Just lately, after our merger with Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited, and the fact that we've gone through so many experiences of doing some things right, many things wrong, figuring out deep down that we also want to democratize fashion, have a house of brands. That's the big objective. Be the first Indian maison, designer maison, where you have a fine brand architecture. And now we have a very sound play on categories. We understand which are your growth categories, which can be a future fit, innovative categories to play with. So a lot of the intelligence now is transferred between how Nikhil thinks and how I think. So there is that good knowledge on what categories can do well, which are the familiar ones we need to get into, how much of reinvention needs to be parked aside now, and how close do we get to a consumer while maintaining the same DNA. It's not an easy task, but it's a whole lot of experience that maybe we have gone through in building this house of brands, or we're trying to, that we have a clearer grip now. So there are a lot more meaningful conversations now than there has ever been, because the weightage that reinvention had started to come down a little bit, and there's a lot more weightage being given to how close and how obsessed we are with our customer and what does that customer want. So the thumb rule of business that now I think we are beginning to understand is that we will do what we don't like, but what our audience likes. A good part of our journey has been about what do we like, because as founders, as what we are as a brand is what we normally like to show to the world.
Yes.
But I think that is now blurring.
I think there needs to be a good balance, because knowing what you want comes with the authenticity of the brand as well.
That's right.
And then understanding the customer is how the brand builds it.
Yeah.
Okay. So last part of the podcast, it's very unfiltered and rapid fire. So you can go first.
Sure. Shantnu hates rapid fires.
You hate. Let's start with me.
Go for it.
Let's humanize the struggle. What is the most unglamorous part of your day-to-day life?
Unglamorous part? No, there can never be an unglamorous part. Our atelier is all surrounded by glamorous people, and also the glamour that is around you. It can never be unglamorized. This is in fact a place where glamour just outshines everything.
Would you still steal his shirt if it's kept on the seat?
Yeah, every time. For me, the most unglamorous part of my job is the journey to the office. It's full of galis, galoch. Sometimes I step out of the car ready to beat someone up. Then I say, listen, if I beat someone up and he ruins my face, then I have to get plastic surgery done. I let it be. That's the only irritating part, that I don't see anything beautiful on the road on the way to work. There is just mayhem, chaos, and it's pretty pathetic.
The best piece of advice you ignored and are glad you did.
Someone told us not to get invested into, and we ignored it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best
At a
piece
party, there was this one guy who says, "Don't do it. It's the worst thing. You'll have no control." I said, "Do you have control over the growth of your hair?" I said, "If you can't barely control the growth of your own hair, how do you expect any control in the planet?"
Yes.
He said, "But don't do it."
Yeah.
Ignored.
No. Okay. Beyond the big moments, the shows, the campaigns, the celebrity, what's something quiet about the brand that you're most proud of?
I think the focus on silhouettes, the focus on structure, the way we finish our clothes, you can wear them after 15 years. We've had second generation wearing our clothes, and it feels quite powerful.
Legacy piece.
Yeah.
I think how quietly we've moved from a 3-store network to a 23-store network. Being India's first, to be very honest, bridge to luxury brand that is not ethnic. It's
Contemporary Indian.
contemporary Indian clothes. I think that very quietly we've done that in the last 5 years.
if you could go back and tell 22-year-old Shantnu Nikhil one thing, what would it be?
Don't make the mistakes that you guys made for 10 years. Bring it down to 3 years.
That's a good point.
But that's not how the brand will be here if you guys didn't make the same mistake.
But I think in today's day and age, your gestation period to make mistakes has gone down.
Less.
Either you are gone from the day you start incubating an idea, or you continue to be there because you've done most things right. Because there's so much information that is available.
Yes.
There are case studies available, and there is data that is available. So as a human being, you do tend to consume all of that,
Definitely.
and then become a little bit better to go higher on a learning curve. I think that's where it is.
Yes.
I don't have anything to say to myself.
So you did absolutely right.
I've had a blast through everything. And if I didn't have one experience or the other, my life would be very different.
Yes.
And I'm quite happy.
Good and
Plus,
good.
I don't remember shit. So I have a memory of Amir Khan in Gajni. Every morning I'm looking for my Kalpana. I'm happy that I don't have good memory. Good memory has a problem. It creates a lot of emotional debt.
Oh.
So I don't have.
See, I have to think of making lesser mistakes because I have to back his creative instinct, right? So
I'm the guy who makes the mistakes. So I'll keep doing that.
Started with a banter and we're ending with a banter. Thank you so much, guys. You were great host. We learned so much from you, and I hope that the audience learns more about you and the business. Thank you.